Hello, everyone. We are live here for this very special, I'm seeing Catherine Massell just posted what looks like an amazing testimonial from the beginning of what I'm reading. We are live for a very special Sacred Soul Stream Live today. I'm here with, I think, about 10 Sacred Soul Alignment practitioners, and we are here to just talk about this modality, talk about these tools, this class, our community, our family. And so if you're here joining us, welcome. And if you have any questions about Sacred Soul Alignment, about the certification, please drop those questions in the comments and I will be trying to keep an eye on those. I'm streaming in 4 places, so I'll try to keep an eye on those and I will present those to our panel. So just so you guys know, I'm the only one that's on the screen here, but we have Amy, Cecilia, Crystal, Debbie, Megan, Nalini, Nicole, Rashmila, and Sonia here with us. So these are like my favorite thing to do because I get to hear about all the amazing stories and all the incredible transformations that you guys are doing out there in the world. Sometimes I hear things that blow my mind that I haven't heard from you guys until these roundtable discussions. So I'm just going to open the floor to whoever would like to share first, and we'll just dive right in. And for anybody that's watching, if you have questions, if you're here live, I will present those to the panel. If you have questions and post them in the comments later, I'll come back and answer those. So anybody would like to start? You can just let me know or unmute yourself, and I'll bring you on with me. If not, I'll call in somebody. Crystal, I see you're unmuted. Are you ready to get
Sure. I just didn't see anybody else unmute, so I'm happy to go first.
Let me bring you in here as a spotlight. Hello, I'm so excited to have you on here sharing with us your experiences.
Thank you so much for having me. This is such a beautiful space. So my name is Crystal. I've been a Sacred Soul Alignment practitioner for, I actually don't know how long. I'm not good with time. It feels like it feels like it's been forever part of my being. So I found Sacred Soul Alignment. My friend got a treatment by one of our other practitioners, Nicole, who was here, and told me about it. And I got a treatment with Nicole, and she told me about your masterclass. So I did your masterclass, and it was like the first day I was like, I need to do this. It was just such a strong calling. I was like, I don't know why, it has to be done, right? And I've been an energy healer for a very long time, and I wear many hats. So I'm always looking for things that resonate with me to add to my tool belt to be able to help others on their journeys wherever they are. So what I found very, very beautiful about your modality, Alicia, is you, first of all, you're just such a beautiful, authentically kind soul, and you just offer and give so much to everyone, and you just do so with true, authentic, heartfelt medicine. And I just want to say thank you for making everybody feel welcome. And it's been a consensus that, those that feel kind of like outcasts or like they don't have a place to belong, you make such a beautiful community for everybody, and everybody that's part of this family is so welcoming and happy to answer questions and share knowledge. And that's so different than a lot of other communities and modalities and stuff, where it's like, here's your training, go do whatever you do. We're here, there's constant support, constant upgrades, and it's just, you get level 1. Even if you don't want to do a business with it, it's for yourself. You heal on so many deep levels. Like I have PTSD, I have a lot of stuff that I've been through. And again, Sacred Soul Alignment has healed on such a deep level that I wasn't able to touch on with other modalities. Not no better, no worse, just different. It's a different tool. And it's so powerful, but in such a loving way, which is such an interesting combination because it's so powerful, but with such divine love. I've never experienced anything like it. And everybody who has become my clients, same thing. They just say, it's such a beautiful, beautiful energy. And it's the community itself, the trainings are so in depth. Alicia shares so freely with tools that she uses, from recording audios for clients and, all the nitty gritty stuff that you can use if you choose to. Whereas people usually don't share their hows. They're kind of like, here's the information and I'm super great at it all, but figure it all out yourself. Alicia doesn't do that. And all the practitioners that I've come across, which have become like family, I have my soul sister Nicole here. We've known each other for many lifetimes, but we met through Sacred Soul Alignments. And it's just, I can't say enough stuff. Like, I'm smiling, my cheeks are cramping. It's just, I wasn't even finished level 1, and I was like, I need to sign up for the advanced. And I remember asking, like, do I need to finish level 1? Because the advanced was starting before I was due to be finished. And it was like, no, it's, you can work at your own pace. And that's what's different too. Whereas you go for like a day course or a weekend course, it's a lot, and you kind of have to revisit it on your own, where you give us tools and recordings and videos and audios that we can go back to as often as we need to, and as often as you feel called to. And when you're updating those energies, you give that updates to us without, we have lifetime access to all of this beautiful energy. And that is in itself priceless. It's, you don't have to pay for those upgrades. You're investing that time. And it's truly because Alicia really wants to heal and wants us to heal and help others heal. When we heal ourselves, we're healing others around us and healing the collective. And, we definitely need more love and healing in the world nowadays. And it's just, I can't say enough about it. If you're on the fence, I highly recommend it. You will not regret it. Even if you're just doing it for yourself, it is such an investment. Why would you not make that investment for yourself? We always put ourselves last, right? We're like, oh, this is a good tool to use for other people. When I did your masterclass, it was because I needed to heal me. We're always on our own journey, and how your programs are layered and how your healings are layered doesn't matter where you are on your journey. I can listen to one healing or run one healing today, and I'm different next week, and I'm going to get something completely different out of it. So it's amazing. And the combinations that you can bring together and the healing that you can create and programs you can create for yourself or for others or both is just limitless, absolutely limitless. And you don't get that with anything else, I find, that I haven't come across yet. And I just wanted to say thank you. And if you're on the fence, you have to do it. You have to do it for yourself. Invest in yourself, and it will ripple out. And it's the best investment I ever made, ever.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Crystal. You brought up so many amazing and important points. And one of those that I just want to sort of reiterate, because there's just so much to talk about with this class and this modality that I don't end up talking about many of the pieces that are actually important. And one of those that I don't talk about that much is the fact that I allow people to come back through over and over and over without paying another fee. I've made one exception to that. I did charge $197 to come back through when it was including a second certification. That's not the case anymore. That's going to be its own class. So I have no plans to charge again in the future for level 1 practitioners to come back through. And the value in that, I don't know anybody else that does that other than Kim. No. And I feel very, very strongly, every, business person that I've ever worked with has told me, don't do that. Why are you doing that? You're giving away the farm. But I believe really strongly my number one reason for doing this work is to transform lives, above and beyond the business part of it. And so I believe really strongly in supporting the people who have made that commitment to doing this work, whether it's doing it for yourself or doing it as a profession out in the world. I say all the time, just like Crystal said, the number one work that we do is the work that we do on ourselves. And so we're making an impact, a huge impact on this human collective level when we're working on ourselves. So I believe so strongly in supporting you guys. And so thank you for speaking to that. And thank you for being here, Crystal.
Thank you so much.
And now I have to figure out how to unspotlight. Okay, good. All right. So is there anybody else who is ready to go next?
I can go next.
All right.
I can go next.
it's the middle of the you're in India.
Yeah,
Let's see, I think I
yeah,
added.
it's 12
There we go.
45 and
So
I'm so
it's so good to
happy
see your
here.
beautiful face.
Thank you. Uh,
Thank you for staying up till the middle of the night to be with us.
I really enjoy talking to you, and like I did the certification in 2018, and just adding to what Crystal said, I had never seen anyone do business in this way, and I could only see that there's this loving person, and I have so much hope for life now.
Oh,
And even have this thing that if she can be so loving and do business in that sense, maybe even I can give that a shot, because I could never fit into any job. And like the best thing that I find about you is with the changing seasons and the changing times, you always come up with what's exactly needed, and that is simply priceless, because that is something money can't buy, like we will only get to know a few people on the earth who are so beautiful from their hearts, and I'm so happy to say that that's you, and I've never seen anyone else who is so beautiful from your heart. And I like you have touched my heart so deeply that I have, really felt so touched. And I'm like always overflowing with gratitude for you. So I'm like, yay, I'll come to this heart gathering, because it just like naturally flows. Like, your love for, everyone, because you never judged anybody on anything, and you're just simply so giving, and you really have that, and giving with so much integrity and love is something that I had never seen. uh, I also found a friend, Sonia, who is here, and that is a priceless connection too. And we use sacred soul alignments to practice healing on each other almost every day, and that is priceless. And I think I would have never found her if I never found you first. So I feel like my foundation was, really set on such a lovely place when I joined your certification and everything else that you offered, because it was like, yeah, I have to take it, because that's it. Like I could never like articulate what it has, what your healing has, but it would really touch me on a very soul deep level. And I think that is really priceless, and I would give any amount of money for that, because that is so rare, and I feel you are really, really rare.
thank you,
um
Marshmallow. That's so
yeah.
sweet. And it makes me so happy to see people from all over the world. We're a family and we have people from literally every continent, multiple different languages, multiple different cultures, and we have this commonality of, sharing
Mm.
our mission in the world. And it's been so beautiful for me to witness the transformation and the blossoming of you over the last 3 years. And I'm just so honored to have you. You're a very, very special person, and I'm honored to have you in our family.
Thank you.
So
I'm
thank
so
you,
grateful
Rashmilla.
for
Thank
your
you.
love. You're so welcome.
And
Thank
it's
you.
beautiful to witness your and Sonia's friendship too, because I know you guys speak almost every day, and that's just incredible. From
Mm.
all the way across the world, you guys have found this connection, and it's amazing. So
Yeah.
thank you for
Many
being here,
thanks
Rush.
to you. You're welcome. Happy to be here.
We'll let you go to bed now, or you can stay and listen to everybody too.
I will.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Okay, I love you guys can see why I love doing these. Um
I'll
I'm
go.
I'm gonna go ahead. Okay. Who was
Oh,
that?
it was Sonia.
Oh,
Me.
perfect. Perfect, perfect. I'm gonna bring you into the spotlight, and while you're talking, I'm gonna see if there's any comments. Oh, I accidentally brought Amy in. Sorry, Amy.
Oh.
Where's Sonia? There you are. Okay. Oh, I love your hair. It's green today.
Thanks. Yeah, it'll probably be red like by the end of the week, but for now we're green for today.
I love it.
Um, so I have a million things I could talk about, but I'm going to bring up the health effects that I've had. So when
Perfect.
I started with you in 2019, had chronic complex post-traumatic stress disorder that was getting worse every year. It was out of my control, and I was really struggling with that. I also have had a history of digestive disorders, and I was on medication for that for more than 20 years. And I no longer have digestive disorders. I do not have any problems. I have been off of the medication for around 18 months, and I don't have any symptoms at all. I also, my post-traumatic stress disorder, that became from doing all the healing and using this. I started out to do this healing for myself and, wanting to move towards having a business, but first and foremost, healing myself. And so being able to not have trigger events, which are when I would go into fight or flight. And when that happens, it happens on a cellular level, or maybe people don't know. And so like, you don't say, oh, well, I'm going to freak out right now. And then your body freaks out. You just can be sitting normal. Something happens and, that's even extraneous, and it triggers something in a level inside. And the next thing you know, you have like adrenaline pumping, and, you can't breathe and you can't eat, and, your mind is racing, and then you have to wait until that wears itself out. And it could be 24 hours or it could be 4 days where you just go and you have no sleep and you can't, have any control, and it's terrible. And so I would get to a place where I wasn't having these events at all. And if I did have the event, I could sit and, I still remember the first time I had fight or flight come back in, and I didn't have the meds I normally have. And so it took me about 2 hours, but I ran healing and I ran healing and healing. And I was able to bring myself back to a state of homeostasis. And it was like a miracle. And so, fast forward now, and I just don't ever get triggered anymore. And there's been, and recently of late, you brought in a whole series of trauma alignments, and ground yourself and stabilize your emotion, and specifically for this kind of event. But I learned how to use the alignments to where before you had those, and able to calm myself down. And so now it's much easier with the new trauma alignments. But this is it's literally priceless. I mean, there isn't enough therapy or medication that was stopping it from getting worse. And I was so scared. It's like, what is my life going to end up like, if it keeps getting worse like this? And so you and your healing modality have been literally life-saving for me. They have. I mean, I had a precancerous digestive condition. I don't have that anymore, and so then this is talking nothing about, your generosity and the, coming through, and just being able, you holding space for us to practice. And then like Crystal said, the family, the group, and how it's so much like family. And that I know that if I have a problem, I can go, and I don't know like which alignments to use, I can go into our chats and ask, and a whole bunch of people are going to respond to me and tell me what works for them. And then, and so I'm supported in every aspect of my life here in your Sacred Soul Alignment family with your alignment. And now I've just started a new business, doing healing for others. And I'm so excited to be able to share this with other people and to help as many people as I can to get through their issues that think, that are thinking there is no hope for their future, like I was thinking, and now I know that I can help these people. I've been able to help myself and I've been able to help my family. I mean, I have millions of stories of how I've helped my family and my dad, since I take care of him. He was just having an ailment, something that happens to him. He could tell it was coming on just a couple of days ago. And I said, okay, Dad, I'll run healing for you. And then yesterday he said, Sonia, what did you do? I just want to know because I'm fine now. It went away. I'm not having pain. And I said, I just ran healing, Dad. He goes, well, whatever you did, it really worked. And so it's just such a gift that you've given us that we can give others, that we can give ourselves. And it's just priceless. So for any of you that are listening, if you're wondering whether you should do this or not, do it. Do it.
Do it.
You'll thank yourself later. Yeah, it's all good. There's nothing,
Thank you, Sonia.
not even one bad thing I could say. It's just all good. And then, of course, my relationship with Rashmila has been so great. We're best friends. And now she's in India. I'm in the United States. And being able to work with her has really helped open up my gifts. And I wouldn't have never had that if, we didn't have our practice sessions and stuff. So I want to take this time to thank you so much for everything you've done for us. That's you, Alicia. Thanking you.
Thank you.
For everything.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much for being
Okay.
here, Sonia. You always have such amazing things to share. And I love hearing about your friendship with Rashmila. There's so many friendships that have come out of this class and it's cool to watch. So thank you for being here.
You're welcome. Thanks.
And I have green hair. And we
Oh,
got a chance to have coffee together last summer when I was in Santa Barbara. You were there visiting. That's fun. Okay, Michaela has your hand raised, and then I'm going to bring you on, and then I will bring on Amy. I see you waving. And as I'm bringing you on, Michaela, I just also want to mention something that Sonia brought up, which was the practice sessions. So, and there's a question in the comments, are there exams? So I don't have exams as part of this certification, but you are required to do 5 practice sessions. And I highly recommend doing them in the group practices that we host, but that's not required. So in the past, I have hosted practice sessions every other week as we go through this certification, but I'm doing something different this time, and that is that I have 4 lead practitioners who are going to be hosting practice sessions, and everybody who's new, who's coming into this round, you will be paired up with one of these lead practitioners to be able to focus on their practice sessions. And it'll be based on the time zone and the times that you're available. So you'll have a survey when we get underway, and those will start after week 2. And so there's going to be 8 opportunities for practice sessions with lead practitioners every single month. So there's going to be 2 practice sessions every week, and all practitioners can come to those. But if you're new coming in, you will be assigned to a lead practitioner based on your availability. And then I'm also going to be having some practice sessions that I will be leading at the end of some of our live Q&A calls. So that'll start about week 3 or so. So there's going to be a lot more opportunity for practice. It's highly encouraged, highly encouraged, but it's not required. And so I just wanted to mention that because that's something new that we haven't done before. you can unmute and turn on your camera. If you're not ready, if I accidentally got to you, I'll move on to somebody else. If you don't unmute yourself, I'll move on to Amy. And you might not be ready. So go ahead and remove that, and I'll bring Amy in. What did I just do here? There we go. Okay.
Hi.
Hi, Amy. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you too. I really want to speak to those people who are like, I'm not even sure if I'm a healer. I'm not sure why I'm attracted to this. I'm not sure, like all of that. I really stepped into this as like my very first experience with energy healing and was questioning myself every step of the way. But I remember reaching out to Alicia and being like, I feel like this is for me, but I don't know why. I don't even feel like a spiritual person. Well, like 5 years later, I'm a totally spiritual person, but it really supported me at the beginning of my journey. I really attribute being in Alicia's class and continuing to open myself to more and more experiences that allowed me actually to have my own business now and, do that kind of thing. It felt like a necessary step in order for me to really believe in myself.
That's big.
And so for those of you that are like, I'm not even sure I'm an energy healer, like this is weird. I'm talking to you, because if you are, unexplainably attracted to the work that Alicia does, it's for a reason. And it's for more than just because she's an amazing, lighthouse of what's possible. It's because you are highly likely needing to safely, in this container of safety and acceptance and practice and love, actually step into who you really are meant to be. I remember quitting my teaching job and then going to yoga teacher training, and that was as spiritual as I was going to get. I was like, I just want to teach yoga, but I don't want to do this spiritual stuff. And they just laughed at me. And when I got back, I'm like, I'm really called to do this with Alicia. And I was like, I don't have the money. And then the next day, money just showed up and I was like, take it, I'm in. So
I remember that. Yeah.
I didn't start on the start date. I actually got the money the second day, the second day of the class. And also is just to remind everybody, you're not stepping into a container where you're just a number, where you're just a name. You feel cared for, you feel seen, you feel heard and understood. And because we're all moving through such, we're choosing it for a reason, for ourselves, to discover a part of ourselves, but there is parts of us that need healing as well. And it's not easy to say yes to heal parts of ourselves, even when we're like, we really want to heal this, we really want to do this. Sometimes we get stuck in that, but this is familiar, and it gets scary to step into the unknown. And what I want to say to anybody that's, on that bridge, telling themselves similar stories that I was telling, is that this is a safe and loving and compassionate container, not just from Alicia, but you can see the culture and community that she's created is truly that of, it's okay to feel what you're feeling, and we're here to support you. So that was really the first time when I took your certification. It was the first time I had had an experience like that.
Wow.
And I'm really grateful for that. Yeah, it really kind of set the tone for me to be open to more magical things.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Amy. That's incredible.
Yeah.
And I'm so honored, to hear these things from you guys about the community that we've created together. And I love it. And you were one of the first, you were in one of the first couple of classes, I think maybe the third class. And I'm excited for you to come back through, because you haven't come back through the class for a while, and there's so many new things. So you're going to
I'm so
love
excited.
it.
yeah, so for those of you that aren't sure and you're like, well, I don't know anybody in it, like I'm gonna go back through and do it and we can be friends and we're all in this together.
Awesome. I love it. Friend.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Awesome. Thank you so much,
Thank
Amy.
you.
Thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. Whoops. I removed my own spotlight. Oh no. Okay, I did that right. Okay, so lots more people to hear from. Is anybody else ready to speak?
I am.
Nalini, it looks like you're unmuted. Are you ready to speak?
Okay. I'll wait.
Spotlight you. You were in one of the were you in the very first class?
I was in the second beta class.
Okay.
I mean,
Yes.
I didn't even know there was
we've been together for, oh yeah. Yeah, the first class was kind of invite only.
Mhm.
It was inspired by an amazing person who's not with us in this earth plane anymore, Jennifer
Yeah,
Sproul.
Jennifer. Yeah.
And she's the one that really put the fire under my feet to get this going. So I'm eternally grateful to her. And then you and I have been connected far before sacred alignment was even a thing. We've been in each other's world for quite a while. In this
Yeah.
lifetime and many other lifetimes as well.
Yeah, and I was going to add to what has already been said is you are by far the most generous and accessible teacher, mentor I've ever worked with. And I just like appreciate it. I feel like I could come to you with anything and you'd be there. And I'm like, wow,
Thank you.
It's like, how rare is that? I didn't mean to interrupt you. What were you going to say?
We've known each other for a while. We go far back. Thank you for saying that because, I am the teacher of this class. Somebody has to lead and direct things, but I don't, I see us all as we are an equal part of this community. And I really, really, really honestly do. I do not put anybody on a pedestal. I've learned that the hard way throughout my life, and I don't want to be put on a pedestal. And so I think that's part of what helps to foster and create this community, because I truly feel that way.
Well, I mean, if I didn't know what else to refer to you as, I definitely a colleague, but someone who's teaching something that is new to a lot of people, something that's also ancient for a lot of people too. And these sacred soul alignment certification, whether level 1 or advanced, are so much more than just learning sacred soul alignments and doing healings with them. I mean, you learn energetic release techniques. You learn about the energy bodies, the koshas, the chakras, crystals. I mean, we get into working with colors. The apothecary series is just beautiful because I've been working with herbs all my life. So it's wonderful to bring in the energetic component of that. And another thing about the healings with this, I've noticed, not only I've noticed it for myself, but working with other people, is it's more than just physical healings. And I think others have mentioned that as well. The healings are much deeper. We heal emotionally, mentally, spiritually. It's like, our bodies are more than just the physical. And I can say that for years, my life there was this undercurrent of fear, anxiety, stress. It was kind of just my fuel. That's how I operated. It was like a natural state, even though it was so unnatural. And that's gone, that's gone. I don't operate that way anymore. I come from a place of well-being, and that's basically what I share with other people. And I want to share this little story about how this affects us in our everyday life, how this is incorporated in our everyday life. Like a mundane example would be at the end of last year, I had to get my car registered in the state that I live in. And because of all the restrictions, you had to make an appointment with the Division of Motor Vehicles. So I made my appointment. I go in there and they're like, nope, you don't have all the forms you need. You have to come back. And I'm like, I was kind of under pressure with a deadline. And the forms that I needed were 500 miles away. So I had to like figure all that out.
Oh no.
Yeah, but so, and then I had to wait weeks before I made the other appointment. I mean, before I could see, have another appointment. So I pull it all together. It comes the day of the appointment and we get a freak snowstorm and I get an email that my appointment's been canceled. So,
Oh my gosh.
well, what I did was I went inside and I said, what's going on inside of me that has the world reflecting this back to me? Like, what do I need to see? And I just sat with that question and it came. And what I heard was, you feel like you don't deserve this car. And I'm like, oh, really? And then I just started looking at it and I'm like, wow, that's true. And it was related to generational shame and unworthiness that I'd inherited, not only through my ancestry, but through the collective on the planet. And I really looked at that and I cleared it like on the spot. And then I heard, go online and get another appointment for today. And I'm like, okay. I went online. There was an appointment within a half an hour, really close to my house. I go in there. The music's up loud. It was like during the holidays. Everybody's having a good time. They just basically rubber stamp all my forms and off I go and my car's registered. And I'm like, wow. All it took was looking at inside what struggle's going on inside of me that's being reflected in the struggle that's going on in my world. And that was pretty profound. And I mean, like, I was really like, I was laughing about it for weeks after that. But I mean, like, that is how these tools can be applied, not just, healing like a lower back pain or shoulder pain, which I'm healing now. I've had shoulder pain in my rotator cuff, and through herbs and the healing work, it's almost healed.
Oh,
Because I can't get to my chiropractor till December because of the whole make an appointment stuff.
Right.
And I'm like, well, I'm going to heal it so that when I go to see her, it'll be like having a tune-up. So
Yes.
I'm just so grateful of all the little ways, all the little nuances of ways that I can apply this in my life. And I have people call me up on the spot saying, just whatever is going on in their life. And because another thing this course, these healings and courses do is expand our intuition.
Yeah.
So, and it's like, we may not even realize we have expanded intuition until it just happens, like I'll have a friend call or someone call who needs something. Intuitively, I'll be able to see the whole picture.
Yes.
And I'll start saying things out loud and they'll be like, wow, you really get what's going on. And I'm like, yeah. And another thing I've learned too is really how to listen, really. I think that listening is one of the greatest gifts you can give another person. Really, because people aren't used to being heard.
Yes.
And they feel so loved, and I mean, the growth that it's funny because I can see my growth over the past 4 or 5 years. I can really see my growth over the past year as well. I experienced a lot of kind of tragic, along with the rest of humanity, a lot of tragic things in 2020 that I had to deal with for the first time. Things that I always thought that I would be extremely fearful if that ever happened. And I was able to, and I mean, was it easy? Not really, but did I have what it took to navigate everything that I've had to deal with? Yeah. And I mean, that is one comment that the feedback I get from the people around me is like, can't believe that you've handled all of this, and you're still like stable and, upright. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Fortunately, I've got some tools under my belt, but
Yes,
It's
you
like,
do. Yeah, so that's amazing. Thank you for sharing all of that. There's so much there. So, being on this path and being on this journey of healing doesn't mean that we're not living in this world, right? We're still living in this world that everybody else is living in. But the difference is that we have the tools to help navigate it and to lessen the impact that the chaos around us is having. I love your story about the car because, it shows how much we're affecting our reality. And if we can identify what's creating problems and clear, which is very rarely what we think of it is, if we're just to think about, okay, it was red tape or whatever, all the snowstorm, but that wasn't really what was really creating that. It was this belief that you identified and cleared, and it wasn't a conscious belief because it was an ancestral belief. So you couldn't have identified that by thinking about it, right? We have to tune into these things, and because 95% of our thoughts are unconscious, so we don't have we can't really access what the real issue is most of the time by thinking about it. We have to tune into it, and that's where that whole intuition piece comes in. That, like you said, we don't always realize that our intuition has expanded so much until, because it's incremental. It happens over time. It happens over the more, attunements that you guys receive, the more we work in this work, that it expands. And then all of a sudden one day we're like, wow, that just whole thing just dropped in and I just knew it. And it's just incredible. So, and it's just, I'm thankful to be on this journey with you. You have so much knowledge and wisdom, and I'm so glad you're part of our family.
yeah, me
Thank
too.
you for being
And I've got one more thing to add. Just with this, anytime that we're experiencing struggle of any kind or resistance is the perfect time to get these answers for ourselves, to see what we're, holding on to. And that was just one example, but yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for being here. And that's a perfectly said. Anytime we're experiencing resistance is the perfect time to dive in to healing, because that's what happens. Our ego mind is trying to protect us from whatever it thinks is going to hurt us. And that's where a lot of times the resistance comes in. Our ego mind doesn't want to change. And when we can push through that. So some of you guys out there might be feeling resistance right now, like, oh, I want to do this program, but blah, 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 all these reasons, which probably aren't really the actual reasons, right? So if that's you, I invite you to just and see what comes to you. Okay, who's next?
Can I go next?
Megan, I'm gonna bring you. Was that, I don't spoke. Was that Michaela, you?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna bring you back. Michaela. All right. Hello, welcome. Thank you for being
Hi.
here.
Well, thank you. Personally, this modality, it's the one that I have ever felt very connected. And at first, yes, I was very, very hesitant for many, many reasons. One of them was that English is not my first language. So I was like, oh, maybe I won't be able to understand the whole thing, or maybe being in the group calls and everything, it was very intimidating for me. But everyone is very, very nice, very welcoming, very understanding. And I feel welcome, and I feel, I don't feel embarrassed of, like, then if I don't say it right, or it's just very, very nice. And also I wanted to say that I have been able to personalize or incorporate my own connection that I don't even know how to say it, how to explain it. I used to, well, not used to, I do have a lot of connection with angels and archangels. well, before starting this, I was like, well, I don't want to lose that connection by
Yeah.
else. And it's not the case at all. In fact, it improved and it became better because then every time when I do one of these healings or I run any alignments or anything, angels lower, I can feel the energy of the angels, of the archangels, and it just kind of like make it better and bigger. And the healing just becomes like it incorporates like perfectly. So I'm very glad for that. And I wanted to share this with you because it's like you can pretty much make your own out of whatever anything else you're doing. So
Yes, yes. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that. I'm so glad that your connections with the angels have increased even. So that's amazing to hear. Thank you for being here, Michaela. And it does, there's so many people have said, how versatile these tools are, and we can create. I say often in class, we're only limited by our imagination of what we can create with these tools. And they blend so perfectly with other modalities, other things that you yourself might just be channeling through. And so there, it's let's give you. Megan, I'm going to bring you on now. You're but I can't see you.
Can you see me now? It's like frozen up on my end.
Oh, it's frozen? Okay.
Okay, now it's good.
There you are. I see you now.
They're doing construction outside my house.
Good.
So
Welcome.
my internet is crazy. But I want to say hey to everybody. I started
yeah.
I started with this program the spring summer of this time, and I caught Leisha's like masterclass in March. I had no idea what a healer was. I've always had gifts. I've always known I could do certain things, and then I shut it down because I got a lot of like persecution and stuff like that, not to practice it and stuff like that. So I shut it down, caused a lot of toxic behaviors to come out of me. And I had a lot of like childhood trauma and things like that I had to deal with. But when I saw her class, again, I had no idea what a healer was or anything. It just like really spoke to me. And that's really what kind of pulled me in and made me, because I can be a skeptic on things, especially when it's online and things like that. And I just kind of went with my gut feeling. I was like, okay, I can do this. And the way it's opened me up is unbelievable. It's not just like opened me up, but it's opened up my whole family. It's opened up my aunts who have gifts too. And they've even seen this. And they're like, I don't know what you're doing, but keep doing it. And I don't really work on them. It's just me doing my personal work and working with my clients and things. And I went from having no idea what's going on to going off of my psych meds, which I also had to do the personal work. But this healing allowed me to be able to deal with it, not let's pull all these emotions up, send you home and let you figure it out. It did it in a way where it was a very calming. I do a lot of healing in my sleep, and the nightmares and stuff they're not nightmares anymore. That's lucid dreaming. It's me actually seeing these journeys I'm going on in my dreams, and I'm feeling so much better. And it's opened me up to my gifts in such an incredible way. It will really just reawaken me from what I've had from ancestors, past lives and stuff like that I've lived. It's unbelievable. I went from not knowing what to do to starting my business to having my calendar booked. And the feedback I'm getting from people is unbelievable. And my son has a lot of problems, and he's going through a lot of changes right now. He's 16, autism spectrum disorder, very high functioning, some mental health issues with that. And the change I've seen in him, even his teachers are like, I don't know what you did over the summer, but it's unbelievable. And it's just an incredible model to follow. Now, it's the only one that I follow, but again, I didn't know anything about crystals, nothing. And now I'm like helping people on what different crystals to use and things like that. It's just unbelievable the way that it's opened me up in such a short span of time and where it's really taken me. It's just, I can't say thank you enough. And how you see her now is really how she is. Like, I messaged her one time about a dream I was having, and I couldn't like figure it out. I just was like, there's no way I'm having this type of dream. And she messaged me right back. And I was like, oh, wow. Like, that personalization she gives, she makes you feel like it's just you and her. You're not just money or anything like that. Like, she truly, truly cares, and she wants to see you doing the best you can. And really, I mean, for what we pay for the program and what we get out of it, I mean, it is beyond a bargain. And I just can't thank you enough. You've really changed a lot of my lives. My doctors can't believe my health issues have like pretty much non-existent. My mental health is so much better. And I'm just happy. And I feel like I've really found what I'm meant to do and stuff. So I thank you for everything. I'm really
Wow.
appreciative of it.
Thank you, Megan. What an incredible, I knew some of that stuff, but I didn't know all of it. So
Yeah.
that's incredible. And you a year ago didn't know what any of this kind of stuff
No.
was, and you've just exploded with so much. It's amazing
Yeah.
to witness. And thank you for being here and sharing all of that.
Thank you.
Okay, I removed your, what did I do? I keep feeling, okay. Zoom is being weird. So many people are really waking up to who they truly are. And I am so grateful that we have something to offer to those of you who are, sort of navigating all of this. A lot of us woke up over time. We had a decade or more to really figure this stuff out. And in the energy that we're in on this planet, so many people are just having like an overnight awakening and trying to navigate it. And so Sacred Soul Alignment is the perfect place to come in if that is you, because there's so much support, there's so many tools, and it's an honor for me when people have that fast awakening and they come into our community, because your gifts, there's so many people whose gifts are just like blasted wide open, and it's beautiful to watch. So thank you, Megan, for sharing all of that. Nicole, I see you waving your hand. I'm going to bring you on. Hi, it's so good to have you here.
Hi, Alicia. I'm so happy to be here and so grateful to be part of this incredible community. Sacred Soul, I can't speak enough goodness about Sacred Soul Alignment. It has changed my life in the most incredible, beautiful ways. I was kind of in a similar situation to Megan. I didn't know anything about energy work, healing. I had been on my own spiritual journey, doing a lot of my own healing, but I didn't know anything about doing energy work. And so I had asked my team, just like in a prayer, if energy healing was, if I was a healer, to please help me get aligned. And in the most beautiful way, Sacred Soul Alignment fell on my path. And so I started Sacred Soul Alignment June of 2020, not having any experience in this lifetime anyways. And I not only have my own modality coming in, I have a business that I'm creating, and my life has transformed in the most incredible ways. It's like I've been on a rocket ship, but with grace and ease.
Yeah.
And
I love it. That's great.
yes. And so it's very exciting because my own life has transformed, and I am now getting to bless others. And with Sacred Soul Alignment, you don't just get Sacred Soul Alignments. I have connected with so many soul family. My sister Crystal is here, and it's such a blessing, the doors that have been opened, the connections that I've made. And they're soul nourishing connections. It's not shallow connections. It's people that want to support you and offer you love and healing on our journey as we all expand and go through this together, because we're all on incredible journeys right now. And so I really don't believe I could have ever got this far without Sacred Soul Alignment. It has been so transformative. I use it for myself almost daily. And I even use it for my son. I offer it to my family. There, those that will accept. But it's such a joy to get to share this with,
Right.
right? It's such a joy to get to share it with clients. I started in June of 2020, having no experience at all. And here I am helping people transform their lives with such a beautiful modality, and my own modality in the making dropping in for me.
Yeah, I'm excited
So,
for that. I'm excited for that for you. You've got some big things coming up.
yes. So you don't just get Sacred Soul Alignment, you get transformation, you get community, you get soul family, you get the joy in giving back to the people that you get to share this with. And it doesn't matter if you've had experience, take it from me, it doesn't matter. It'll come in for you. You put the practice in, and Alicia offers so much opportunity to practice, form connections, and to receive the support that you need. Never once on this journey have I felt unsupported, not once. And I know there's been times where I've we all kind of go through that dark night, on our journey. And I've had, I'm a trauma survivor. And so I've had stuff surface on this journey. And I remember reaching out to Alicia, and she was there for me, like offering me what I needed to get through that part of it. So, I'm so thankful that she's a resource that I can trust. And a beautiful shining light in our community. I have so much gratitude for Sacred Soul Alignment. Every single day I'm grateful for it. It's literally changed my life in the most beautiful, profound ways. So thank you, Alicia. Thank you, everybody else that's here.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
That was beautiful, Nicole. Thank you for sharing all of that. Amazing.
Well, thank you. I'm so grateful to be here and be part of this beautiful community of soul family. Thank you.
Yes. And we're glad that you're here with us. Amazing. Thank you so much for saying all of that. Okay, good. I love it. So there's a few people we haven't heard from. If anybody would like to go next. I'll look and see if I see Debbie. Looks like Cecilia, you're unmuted, and I see you waving, so I'm going to bring you in. Hello, it's always so good to hear from you. You have the most amazing stories.
Oh, thank you. I'm trying to get in before my grandsons get too noisy.
Oh, perfect. Good timing.
They're two and 4, so I am just so excited about the courses taking with you. I met up with you just by chance in 2020, and I think it was on one of your master classes, and you ran some alignments and said, how are you all feeling? And I wrote in, well, my feet still hurt and I'm having trouble walking up the stairs. And you tuned into me to find out that I had barbed wire around my ankles, and it had gotten that it was months and it was deteriorating every day. And I was worried that in 2020, you couldn't go to the doctor here in Canada. You had to make appointments and everything. And I was getting worse and worse. And I'm like, I'm coming up 60 and oh my God, maybe I've got something, and what is it? And you tuned in and saw that, and you said, you did a relationship healing, and I felt it come out from under there, and within an hour I could run up those stairs as though nothing had happened. And that was it. I went, okay, I want this. I took your course, and I have worked amazing with people, but one of the themes I'd love to share tonight is the difference I made with animals, and especially rescue animals that have been traumatized. And I worked with some dogs and cats that their owners were moving, and of course they had been abandoned before, and then rescued. And these animals their behavior just went wonky all of a sudden. And because my all the healing I had done with you, I was able to tune in also to their higher selves, speak with them and find out what was going on, send in alignments of anxiety and trauma, healing, and the dogs and the cat. The next day, their behavior was like immediately it was back to normal. And I even worked with horses, and they were getting like really out of hand, and they had again been rescued. And I was able to find out what was going on, send in these healings, and the owner came back the next day and she was just blown away. And she's like, they're just calm. They're just like, normally they would rush over and scare the heck out of her.
Wow.
And then here they were just breezing along. So, I mean, I've worked with children with autism and had them speaking when they weren't, to the point where the mom wanted the alignment to shut them up. He won't quit talking. I said, well, he's got a lot to say. He hasn't been able to speak much for the last while. But and then people, and like when I began this, I can't even say have anymore, had a brain injury that didn't allow my memory to pick up very long. And your course and your gentleness took the anxiety away of, oh my God, am I going to keep up? Am I able to do this? I don't know what she's talking about. I got to write this down. And I've been on courses before where you're expected to take notes. Well, I couldn't keep up. But with yours, your notes are provided, your videos are provided. Then those practices, I totally shot up once I took your practices, because I was in a safe environment that brought down my anxiety to go, okay, I can make mistakes, and be able to ask questions of people who can feel what you're sending to them and go, yeah, no, you're sending healing to me, Cecilia. I'm like, I am? Okay. I'm doing this right.
Yes. Thank
And
you for
confidence
speaking
building.
to that. Yeah, those practices are important. And thank you for speaking to that.
Oh, and they're not like, oh, and that's an additional cost. None of that. Like, I came in, I didn't have the money. You provided a plan that enabled me to be able to do it. And I've helped so many people through this, both giving and I haven't stepped into my business yet. I haven't quite gotten there, but family members and friends and people I know, like a lady would, what is it called? Fibromyalgia. Well, she all of a sudden started talking during a session and I thought, oh shoot, what happened? We got cut off or something, because it's all online. And she goes, it's been so long, I haven't felt pain. Wow. She had not had a moment of not having pain, and it was your alignments. And you actually have a fibromyalgia alignment, which is, she was so excited about. So like, I got this. It's like, I'm in the candy shop.
Wow.
So,
yeah. It does feel like that sometimes, doesn't it? With the vast list of alignments. I feel like that myself sometimes. Yeah. That's amazing, Cecilia. You're doing some incredible things out there. I love the work you're doing with animals. And I have a cat. You guys have probably heard me talk about this, but I have a cat that eats my clothes. Like he's literally chewed holes in thousands of dollars worth of clothes. Just yesterday, I discovered 2 really expensive skirts that he ate holes in. So I might need to connect with you to see what you can pick up on him.
They tell me what's going on. It's amazing. Yes. And when I started, I could hear here and there, like my dad would pop in with the lights and all that stuff. Now I can hear as clear as a bell. And I know it's because of all the energies and the trauma and childhood trauma that I've cleared with you. And I actually, taking your advanced class, created my own alignment the other day for my brother who's got a higher level of Parkinson's. And it woke me up in the night when the energy came through, and I'm jumping up and down. Like,
that's so awesome. Congratulations.
I tried it on people who could feel, and they said, I felt that. And I'm like, oh, it worked. I couldn't believe it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Awesome.
There's no end to this. I just love it.
That's true. The sky's the limit, right? For all of us.
And
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here, for
thank you
sharing.
so much.
Anything
No,
else?
other than all your support.
Okay. I thought I
Thank
might
you.
have interrupted. Thank you, Cecilia. I love hearing all these stories. They're amazing. Debbie, I think I see you raising your hand. I'm going to bring you on. You and I have been on this journey together for a while.
Mhm. A
Welcome.
very long time. In fact, when you sent out the wisdom of the trees to us, I thought, oh, I remember that day,
Yeah.
and have been on the journey. So I was connected with you before Sacred Soul Alignment, for those who don't know me. And I knew the first time we did a session, when you would do one-on-one sessions, I told a few of my more energetic spiritual friends, I have found somebody who's going to change the world. And I know her now before anybody knows her yet. And I have shared you with anybody that I really care about. And so I want to touch on, what I want to touch on, which I haven't heard anybody touch on, is I come from a corporate background. I've done corporate training. I've done risk type of things, quality change, performance improvement type of work. And so your work has a scientific base. You haven't touched on it, but if people go do the reading and they've done the work from the science analytical point of view, if they've read anything about Dr. Joe Dispenza or Bruce Lipton or numerous other people, but those are my favorites too, just like yours. And if you go read their work and you can tie it back to all the work that we're doing with the subconscious beliefs and how powerful it is with all of those buried beliefs that we have that are really holding us back, and we can't even quite understand why we do things. So over the years, what I've discovered is that because of the container that you have set, is that I've been able to release. I'm trying not to cry because I'm gonna, that's my superpower, crying.
Yeah.
Is the release of my deepest, darkest fears and shame have come out because of your work. That I was afraid of being seen and struggled with self-worth. Even on the outside, I looked very, very successful. I had this buried imposter syndrome, which I think gets overused. But I would question myself at a level, and I was afraid that if I was truly who I was, people wouldn't love me. And you changed that for me, not only with your work, but the friendship and the community that you've created. I've created the most soul sister friendships that are just extremely priceless. And I was able to come out of my spiritual closet, which is huge coming from my corporate background, and not only come out, but blast it, right? I have a podcast. I've interviewed multiple people, and it's changed my life in so many ways. And I've had some really dark, heavy things happen, and you've been there. I've woken up and had these things, like some of the others have said, and reached out because I felt like my intimate secrets. And have held that space in such a loving, graceful, generous way. And that has allowed me to do that for others. And the generational healing that I've seen is that I've also seen where I've changed some of those own patterns from my own son, my mother, my sister. Like, I have changed those patterns, and that over time, I have had so many different types of friends reach out and say, because you've been so upfront about what you're doing, I now can be more of my own authentic self. And this ripple effect that you have had in my life has allowed me now to shine my own light so that I can also join you in this positive ripple effect for the women. You know, I'm really drawn to women and animals myself. And when I lost one of my beloved fur babies, I had all these downloads come in about dealing with grief. And I reached out to you and I said, oh, you should do all these as sacred soul alignments. And your integrity was that, no, they're yours. I know other healers don't do that. They take your ideas and they run with them, right? Because you're like, no, those are yours to share with the world. And you've not only done it with me, but everybody else that has had all of their own gifts just exponentially come out. And the other thing that I want people to realize is that your up-leveling of your own energy, your commitment to continually work on yourself, up-level yourself, is not something a lot of healers do. They get to a certain point and they kind of plateau. And you just continually stretch and stretch and stretch and stretch. And when I went in and looked at the material for the level 1, again, I go back through and I'm like, wow, it continually just up levels. You exponentially up level your own level, and that continually comes through.
Well, okay. I don't see it, but I don't.
So that was, I was trying to make sure I hit everything that I wanted to say, you know, and as I have navigated my own life too, this is where I fall back to help me with the tools, because it's been pretty challenging for so many of us, and being able to still show up and be gracious and loving. I feel like you've given us this role model too in how I run my business, of being able to know all of us and hold all of our space. As all of us do our own businesses, you realize that's really, you make it look so easy. It's like, you know, I'm a original Bay Area girl. So I remember Joe Montana playing football, and then you watch other quarterbacks players and you're like, he just makes it look so easy. And because it just comes so naturally, and you make this so easy for us to step into ourselves and to help others. And so thank you, you know, for letting me be my authentic self in the friendships that I've had, and so that I can continue to shine as you shine. And being our partner for this whole thing. And no question has ever been too dumb for me to ask if I forget something.
Yes.
You're like, oh no, it's just this, you know this. And I'm like, oh yeah. And I've been blessed to be able to meet you multiple times, right? Like not just meet you, but do things with you over the years. And I'm so grateful so the person you see online is who you are. For people who don't know, you know, I've been around since the very, very, very beginning. And so you just become, the more visible that you've become, the more that you've remained the same and even stronger in your generosity, your integrity, this gentle, loving energy that anybody can pick up, even if they've never done anything and they feel this calling. They need to do it, because you make it work for all of us. So anyway, thank you. I'm so grateful for you in my life. You've changed it beyond words. So thank you.
Thank you so much. All of that, everything that you said really, really means a lot to me. And I'm grateful and honored to have you as a friend and have you in this community. So thank you so much. If I wasn't on camera, I think I would definitely be crying now. That was really, that really touched my heart so much. And to hear, you know, from a couple of you now on this particular roundtable, saying that I am the person that I am, that I am the person that I present here on the online, really means so much to me, because that is one of the most important things to me. Authenticity is my top value. And I have met other people, none of you guys, but I have met certain people that I've gotten to know online, and hanging out with them and spending time with them in person, and have realized that they're not the person that they present themselves to be online, has been difficult, like, because I know all of you guys are genuine. I've met many of you guys in person, and you guys are all the people that you present to yourselves to be. And I feel like that's something that can be rare in this day and age of social media, where we're given the opportunity to present the best of ourselves, and never, hide away the parts of ourselves that we don't want other people to see. And that's really ultimately not doing anybody any good. And so I just want to thank you guys for seeing that in me, and speaking to that. And I think we might have, is there anybody that we haven't gotten to? If there is, you can unmute yourself, or if anybody wants to add anything else. And I'm going to answer a couple of questions that have come in. So there's a question: are alignments like scripted that you recite word for word? So this is a really good question. And they are not. They have a description. So the descriptions are just like a little bit of like a paragraph, and you can actually see them you could go and look at all the descriptions of all of the alignments if you go to sacredsoulalignment.com and click on the alignment tab at the top. That's normally something that I have just for practitioners. It's our database where we can go and search for the alignments, and it's actually getting really expanded. Right now you can search keywords, and if they're in the description of the alignment, that will pop up. But we're working on a very elaborate tagging system to where you can search an alignment for mental health, and all of the alignments that I have personally tagged, and I'm working with practitioners to create this database. So even if it's not in the description, if we know that it works for mental health, if we've had that experience, or I know from what I've put in it, it will come up in that database. Anyway, you can go there and look at the descriptions of all of the level 1 and the advanced alignments if you go on sacredsoulalignment.com and click on alignments. But all you do when you're attuned to them is you call the energy in. And so there's nothing else to do. There's not a script of what you have to say to memorize. There is what I call a macro, which is a phrase that I give you for calling the energy in. When you come through the class, you'll receive that, and you'll get attuned to it. And there's the description that you can share, but the description is just like the tip of the iceberg of what's in that energy packet. So what's in the energy packet of each of the alignments are sacred light technologies, belief work, downloads, specific frequencies, and then also just the energy that I've been given, that I've channeled through my own source connection. So there's no script, but there is a description for you to be able to share with whoever you're working with. The other question is, how do we know we have the capabilities to practice this? So that's also a really good question. And the answer that I would give, and I think you guys, you've heard many different people speak to, kind of the similar question. We all have the ability to do healing work. We have it innately within us. It's built into our makeup as a human person, as a divine being, which we all are. We're all divine beings in a human body. And so we all have the ability to do this, everyone. So if you're drawn to this particular work, then you can be sure that you have the ability to do it. And that ability, that your confidence in that ability will blossom as you go through this program. So that would just be my answer. If you're drawn to it, that is the indication that you have that ability. And let me see if there's any other. It's always a little hard to see the comments because I can only see 4. at a time, but I'm gonna look here. Wendy's commenting. Let's see. I'm gonna look in my group and see if I can see it's there. Oh, I think I have that right here on my phone. Okay. Sylvia says, I'm not crying, you're crying. Okay, I'm not seeing any other questions. And it's possible that I'm missing questions because I know that I can't see all the comments usually on Facebook. So I will come back and look for those. So I just want to thank everybody for being here. I appreciate you all so much. Oh, and just a note that somebody's making to mention here. So when you look at the description of the alignments, that is what you get attuned to in this class. So it is absolutely necessary and vital that you are attuned to these energies. So you can look at the description, you might even feel the energy as you're reading it, but to be able to run it, you have to be attuned to those frequencies. So what I do in the class is I bring in the energy. I've been shown a very specific method for attuning people to the frequencies that have come through my own source connection, which are these alignments. And I give you the energy signature of those alignments so that you are able to run them. And I get this question a lot from people, can I do this without coming through the class? And the answer is a very much no. You need to come through the class. Otherwise, what you're tapping into is a distorted version of the energy. So we all have the ability to transmit energy. We're all transmitting energy all the time. But in order to be able to use these particular frequencies, you absolutely need the attunement. Otherwise, what you're tapping into is a distorted version. So just want to make that clear since I was talking about all the descriptions and all of that. And I lost my train of thought. Oh, I wanted to, for those of you who are, thinking about this class, you're feeling called to it, you're still not sure. When I hop on calls with people, I offer a private call. You can, we can connect on Zoom, and I will never tell anybody, yes, this is right for you. I will never do that. You'll never see me doing that. I do believe that this is right for you if you're feeling called to it, but I want you to come to that conclusion yourself. I'm not going to tell you that. There's a lot of people that they'll offer discovery calls and you'll get these high pressure tactics, join this class, sign up for this. I will never do that. What I will do is send you the energy of the class so that you can feel it in your own energy field. So what I would like to do is just do that quick process. And all of you who have joined me for the roundtable, feel free to hop off. You guys don't have to stay on for this. But I'm just going to give you guys a quick little process. I've done this with many people, and it helps to feel the energy of this class. So this is different from when I'm sending in alignments or doing healing work. I'm going to send in the energy of this certification class so that you can feel it in your energy field. So if you're thinking about this and you want to take part in this little experience here, all you need to do is just drop down into your heart and just feel into your own source connection. Just through your intention. You might feel it in your crown, you might feel it in your heart, you might feel it all around you, but we are all always connected to source. So just bring your intention in that you're feeling this energy through your own source connection. And just really bringing your awareness to your heart. You can place your hand on your heart. And I'm not going to take you into the heart of creation connection right now. I'm just going to send the energy in of Sacred Soul Alignment certification. This particular class that's starting on Thursday, I'm going to send the energy of that in because every class has a different energy because it's affected by the energy of everybody in the class. So I'm going to send that energy in now for anyone who's wanting to feel that. Setting this into your energy field so that you can feel that energy around you. Feel what it feels like to sit in that energy. And just noticing how it feels in your body, noticing if it feels expansive or light, or if you're feeling some kind of tightness or heaviness anywhere. And if you're feeling tightness or heaviness, you can ask yourself what that is. Is it fear? Is it resistance? Or is this maybe not the right time for you? Or maybe not even the right class for you? So just feeling in your body, feeling if you might have a word or a thought or a feeling come in, just paying attention to that. Good. And I'm going to bring in the flush activation to just flush this energy out so that you're not walking around in it as you go about your day. Good. So for those of you listening, I want to thank you for being here. We start on Thursday in 2 days from now. There's still plenty of time to sign up. I have 4 different payment plan options, all the way from full payment to 12 payments. I even have a bundle with the advanced class. You can get them both in a bundle and save. It's actually $1,100 savings if you sign up before Thursday with a $500 discount and the additional $600 for the bonus, or for the what do you call it? For the package, the bundle. If you get the level 1 in advance, you can save $1,100. And there's multiple bonuses that you can see on the registration page, which you can find at sacredsoulalignment.com, and then click on the top on certification. And there's a ton of information on there. There's several videos on there for me. There's testimonial videos on there, and lots of information. So if you still have questions, if you want to connect with me privately, just send me a message on Facebook, or you can email me at alicia@aliciahartzell.com. And I cannot wait to see who is in this next class. It's going to be incredible. I've added a lot of things. I've added an intuition building exercises, 10 intuition building exercises. I've released the first one and gotten incredible feedback. More practice sessions with lead practitioners and myself. Just so much support, and this incredible family that you guys have had an opportunity to get a little sneak peek into. So thank you to all of you guys who joined me, to shared. My heart is so full right now, and to all of you guys who stayed with us and watched. So once again, I can't wait to see you all on Thursday, just in 2 days from now. So much love to all of you guys, and I will see you all very soon. Bye for now.